Episode 4, Past Voices, Future Choices, Remembering the Past, Envisioning the Future. History serves both as a teacher and a warning. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, we find ourselves grappling with ideologies and conflicts that echo those of the past. Today, we explore the parallels between our current challenges and the tumultuous events of the 20th century. Following the devastation of World War I, the League of Nations emerged, a beacon of hope for international cooperation and lasting peace. Its aim was ambitious, to prevent future wars through diplomacy and collective security. However, the League was fatally flawed. The absence of key global powers, like the United States, and the eventual withdrawal of others undermined its authority. This ultimately rendered it powerless to stop the rise of aggressive ideologies. The League's failure to effectively address Japan's invasion of Manchuria and Italy's aggression in Ethiopia exposed its weakness. Without universal commitment and enforcement power, the dream of lasting peace remained elusive. Amidst the chaos, authoritarian ideologies took root, promising national resurgence and order. Fascism in Italy and Nazism in Germany gained traction by exploiting economic anxieties and nationalistic fervor. Leaders like Mussolini and Hitler skillfully used propaganda, fear, and state control to manipulate populations. Dissent was silenced, and individual freedoms were sacrificed at the altar of the state. Simultaneously, communism emerged as a powerful force, promising equality and worker empowerment. The Russian Revolution led to the establishment of the Soviet Union under Lenin and later Stalin. Stalin's regime, however, devolved into a brutal totalitarian state. Purges, forced collectivization, and a pervasive propaganda machine crushed dissent and imposed absolute control. Fast forward to the present, and we see a resurgence of nationalist and authoritarian movements reminiscent of the past. Leaders around the world exploit the discontent born of economic insecurity and cultural change, using fear as a tool to rally support. Much like the rise of fascism and communism in the early 20th century, these movements threaten to undermine democratic norms and the spirit of cooperation. As history shows, the consequences of these ideologies can be dire. The rise of populism today often comes at the expense of marginalized communities and political freedoms, creating environments where dissent is silenced and democracy is weakened. Throughout history, the exploitation of economic despair and cultural change has paved the way for authoritarianism. The emergence of populist leaders today, who draw upon the methods of the past, offers a stark reminder: unchecked power can lead societies down a dangerous path. The rise of misinformation in our digital age parallels the propaganda techniques of the past. During World War I, governments disseminated false narratives to demonize opponents and rally public support. For example, the propaganda in the US painted Germany as a barbaric enemy, fueling public sentiment for war. Similarly, during World War II, propaganda was used across Europe to incite fear and justify military action. At the helm of Nazi propaganda was Joseph Goebbels, who understood the power of media like no other. He mastered the use of film, radio, and print to shape public opinion and promote the regime's ideology. Goebbels' propaganda machine not only demonized enemies, but constructed a certain narrative of racial superiority, leading to widespread acceptance of violence and oppression. Fast forward to today, where disinformation propagates rapidly through social media, influencing public opinion and decision-making. Much like Goebbels' propaganda, today's narratives can twist information to create divisions, raising serious concerns about the future of democratic governance. During recent elections in various countries, targeted campaigns have manipulated voter sentiment, often distorting realities. Notably, in the US and parts of Europe, false narratives about immigration and security have ignited public fear, mirroring propaganda tactics used during the rise of fascism and communism. The outcomes of these dynamics are significant. A continued drift toward isolationism and nationalism may open the door to conflict, potentially destabilizing regions and undermining the democratic norms we value. The United Nations, established after World War II, faces its own challenges. Bureaucratic inertia, a lack of enforcement power, and the resurgence of nationalism threaten its effectiveness. The ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza highlight the fragility of international cooperation. These crises demand a renewed commitment to diplomacy, multilateralism, and the rule of law. We must learn from the failures of the past and strengthen international institutions. Cooperation, dialogue, and a shared commitment to democratic values are essential for navigating the complexities of the 21st century. As we face these crises, the voice of the citizen becomes paramount. Engaged communities asking the right questions can bring about meaningful change. How do we reconcile security needs with our commitment to democracy and humanitarian values? We must historically contextualize these challenges while supporting the democratic principles that forged our alliances. How can we foster a better future in uncertain times? Advocating for policies that uphold our values is crucial to ensure that we don't walk down the same dark paths as in the past. Challenge the narratives that divide us and advocate for policies rooted in collaboration and understanding. Engaging with diverse perspectives will help forge a united front against the forces of division. The voices of history remind us that when citizens unite in purpose, they can drive meaningful change.